Hey guys, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. We are back with the part two with G. Sit back, relax, guys. Enjoy this podcast. And once again, thank you for visiting Apple, iTunes, or Spotify today. Go visit all the brand new downloads from C's Get Degrees. Also, go visit www.thechadmsmith.com/shop to see all the amazing swag we have offering now through my personal brand website. So, once again, thank you very much. Deuces. Okay, guys, we are back for part two. And the reason why we're going back for part two, because Chad had a epiphany or whatever that word is.
Epiphany.
And G's going, oh my God, we got to record this.
So true. We've hit a stride for sure.
All right, guys, stride in business. All right. So both of us make a story short for the part two version here. This one's going to be a little bit shorter, but in business, we have limited focus. So when you have people like us, and I'm going to say us, people that are like, hey, you're high level, high energy, ADD, brains moving 100 miles an hour. Mm-hmm. The older you get or the more alert you get with yourself, you're starting to realize the time frame that you have for focus. And I'm going to use the word focus. We call it hyper focus, which means you get blasted, you hit that gas pedal, and all of a sudden you had 8 hours and donezo. Like your brain's like, fuck this, I'm done. In nice words of saying it. Mm-hmm. So when you grow alert with yourself is, okay, I have 4 avenues, 5 avenues, whatever it is. And some of this is plug and play. So the focus is there, but you can shift it because you know, okay, for this, I have 2 hours of focus. Boom, bracket, switch. I have an hour of focus on this one. Boom, switch. So you can go, okay, now I have 8, 10, 12 hours or however you time frame your block. You know, you make your time block during the week. With the limited focus I have, how do I literally just go all in? Theme of t-shirt that I have, but like literally go all in on growing these things to where you become so tunnel vision that, and I'm going to explain it right now. I am single. Why? Because to me, my system I have in place is so much focus in this little window. Not saying I have time for a relationship. I do. We do. Let's say we.
It's true.
A person looking at that time block doesn't understand your system because this is your personal system of where you put your focus.
Exactly.
Did I hit the pin? Whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was it. That was literally it. So, and most of the time when you have ambition, like I think I said this on the last podcast, like when you have ambition to do more than work a 9 to 5, you have a lot going on. And that's always the way that it's going to be. So it's figuring out how to focus, so I've found that it's the 50-10 rule, I call it. 50 minutes of focus, then a 10-minute break. Every single hour, that's what I do. You can take, like, it's 50 minutes straight. You put a, like, I don't know, sometimes I put a show on if I want just voices in the background. Sometimes I listen to music. Whatever's going to help you focus for 50 minutes. I put my phone on do not disturb or airplane mode. Like it is zero interruption. Then when my timer goes off after 50 minutes, then I can go make a snack. Maybe I'll go do a set. Like I've got a gym in my basement here, or I'll clean. I'm just in the middle of cleaning. I literally get all of my work and all of my home life tasks done in one day. And I mean, I usually only work about 6-hour days because that's at the point that I'm at in my business. And that's what I feel comfortable working. But it's all about time management, right? Like that's it.
She was, giving me a smile and I was going to pat her shoulder and say, yeah, I'm that fucking good. So I could work 6 hours a day. She's keeping it quiet. She's being a lot more humble with that, arrogant attitude right now.
I mean, I could work less or I could work more, but this is what works for me. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's to us, we have I'm gonna say entrepreneurs, you have a system in place and it's almost when you're in the middle of the grind or the process is what Gary B would say, you don't even notice. And to be honest, I'm going to be right now in my manufacturing gig. I'm going to say I'm on 6 days a week. And the reason for this is certain times I'm going to volunteer on the weekends. Why? because I know I'm going to be there limited time. So like 5 years max. So for me, every little nook and cranny, 6 days, I do need to take Sunday off, but like I will, work 48, 50 hours a week or whatever it is just to get the additional overtime in to funnel my other stuff.
Well, it funds the things that you're actually passionate about.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's no different than having a hobby that would cost you money, right?
Yeah.
Like, how is that any different? It's really not.
Well, speaking of hobbies, a lot of the
Mhm.
hobbies and stuff, and we're kind of off subject here on the focus, but it's actually going to tie together. Like I went to my parents, my stepdad's like, dude, have you been ice fishing? No. Why? It's not like I want to, but my mind is not on that right now because I'm at that level with my mindset, which is like my buddies, where we want to work not straight, but we want to work a good chunk in the month and then say, okay, hey, dude, we have to take a break this weekend just to stop, reset. And I'm like, and my term with him is it's like, dude, we gotta go fishing or go cut trees or something just to act, shut our brain down for a day or two
Mhm.
just to kind of recoup and then make another run at it. I think what it is like you and me, we get in this like workload mindset, and it's not work. Like I love what I do on social media stuff. It's fun. I love the
Mhm.
podcast. I love the YouTube. I'm a very outgoing person, so talking's pretty natural for me. But when you get the more you bring on, the more you get used to it. So like instead of me going out Friday night getting smashed at the bars, and G can contest to this because she sees my
Oh,
Snapchat. She knows I'm up till like midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, taking care of my podcast stuff
yeah.
just to get it released. And the reasoning for this is I'd rather take that 2-3 hours this week, which I know I'm not going to be, hanging with anyone, get the work done to where it's going to help me out the week after.
And it's about your list of priorities, right? And that's literally what it if going out and getting drunk is more important to you, don't sacrifice your happiness, but then don't be mad when you're in the same place 1 year from now
Yeah.
because your priorities aren't straight.
And you're going to hit it.
It's literally that simple.
Yeah. And she's not quite hitting the, the road of life yet with certain things, but like I've had classmates and family members and all that stuff start pass away already.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden the light bulb just goes off and you're like, dude, my time is limited.
Mhm.
And the positive side of it, not a negative side, and say,
Mhm.
why the fuck am I doing 9 to 5? So it's like build it up, enjoy it to where you can have the freedom to do whatever. If it's a Seattle Seahawks game or something, on that lines or a Jays game or whatever, float across the border and not be welcome back or, just goofy things like that,
Yeah.
that you can because you built up your entrepreneurship to make sure that everything is self-sufficient.
Well, even just putting it in into like different terms, like what if you were just able to work part time? Like maybe you don't hate your 9 to 5. Like there's people out there who don't hate it. Like let's just say you're a nurse, but what freedom would that give you if you only had to work 3 days a week and
Yeah.
not have to take any additional income or and any additional vacation, but make the same income?
Yeah.
Like it's literally as simple as that. And then at that point, you can go full time whenever you want. But most of the time, when people go and they do the schooling to be a nurse, okay, that's usually something that they kind of want to do, right? Like you're not going to go through all of that to not do it for quite a few years, right? And then at the end of the day, maybe well, I work with lots of women who are on maternity leave. So in Canada, you get 80% of your wage. So yeah, I know, and they get a break for a year. So and they don't have to go back to work for a year. Yeah, it's a full year at 80% of your wage from the
So
government.
do
Yeah.
you want to be part of that friends group that you have going here or what?
Yeah. I know of like 3 of my very close family friends are all like the same within like 3 weeks pregnant of each other. So there's gonna be a lot of babies rolling around here in the summer. Um, but well, that's a totally different topic. I'm not in
Yeah,
any
we'll
place
just
to
leave
be a
it.
mom right now. But and it's not a decision I feel like I can make by myself either. Like you kind of need a partner for that. But like I mean and so like just for example, like my boyfriend, he's a heavy duty mechanic. He loves what he does. He's a Red Seal. He absolutely loves it. But at the same time, he loves snowmobiling. Like that's something else that he's very passionate about. So then we created a digital product for him to sell and it's going to pay for his hobby. He's never going to stop being a heavy duty mechanic. He loves it. Like he loves it. But if he didn't have to work overtime or if he didn't want to work overtime or this like the the purpose of creating this other product for him was so that it would pay for sledding. Like, I don't know if you know anything about sledding, or if you guys listening know anything about sledding. It's freaking expensive. Okay. Like,
Yeah.
stuff goes wrong all the time. And it's expensive to, like, you're traveling to go, and you're spending a few nights up in the bush or like in a hotel to go sledding, right? And so so yes, he has to take time off. He could use vacation time for that. Or for two, if all of that is paid for, like, there's no, like, and that's just as simple as it is. It doesn't need to be this big, like, I want to quit my job sort of a thing. It's like, that is now money that is coming in instead of going out. And it's
Yeah.
something that he
And you're a
actually
lot less
loves.
stressed out because you're not like, it's once you guys realize the time and the stress and all that stuff disappears, even let's say $200 a month, $300, you don't know how much relief that's going to be on your bills, on your personal life, whatever it is, to where
Yeah.
you're a lot less stressed out. You're a lot, your relationships are better, your health is better, everything's better.
Yeah.
So that grind for the first couple of years, 5 years, whatever it is well worth it in the long run, because you're laying the foundation to go. And on the shop dude, your boyfriend, or
Yeah.
the guys that are in the shop love the shop. They're there for a reason
Yeah.
because they love that
Yeah.
stuff. So you're not going to pull the shop boy out of the boy. I'm just
No.
going to say it that way.
No. No, you're not. And it's true. Like, I mean, his great grandfather, his grandfather, and now him are all Red Seal heavy duty mechanics. Like, and
Yeah.
it's just something that he takes genuine pride in, which is very cool in my opinion, right? Like, it's something that they all did, and he's very proud of what he does, but he realizes that he's in mining, so he makes a good wage, but you're not going to become wealthy with one stream of income. And so eventually, if this grows into an actual stream of income, that's great. But for now, it's paying for one of his most expensive hobbies. And that's crazy.
Yeah. You
Like,
get it, like
it allows him to live his life and do something he's genuinely passionate about. So his whole life is filled with passion and abundance, which is something that, like, it's super attractive for everybody that meets him. Like, friends and family, they all, like, it's a quality that I even aspire to be, right? His whole life is filled with passion because he does the things that he loves every single day.
yeah. And he's smiling, he's having fun.
Absolutely. And so then that's that point that I'm at now. I mean, I remember being at my 9 to 5 and, like, wanting to die every day. But
Every
that's,
day for me.
every freaking day you just want to, like, do anything than to not be there. But kind of to touch on your point earlier, like, when my grandfather died, that was my first really big, like, personal, I guess, closest family member to pass away. And I mean, I'm very fortunate that that only happened 2 years ago, but that's when I kicked it to 11. That's when I went full throttle and I was like, life is super short. Like, that's it. Like,
Yeah,
it
it's
just
my
clicked.
my
It
yeah, my
clicked.
grandfather was the kicker for me, but it kind of rolled into a few other things. So like my cousin was in there, and then a few people that I know from high school started getting cancer and stuff. So it's
Yeah.
like, well, especially now my sister's a breast cancer survivor. So
Mhm.
when you have life kind of wake you up,
Yeah.
it's like everyone's like, how, and now people are getting the speed because they've seen it. They've seen me doing this since May or April or whatever.
Mhm.
So like back in
Mhm.
the day, be like, now what the fuck's Chad doing? Now it's like, okay, now everything's lining up and the lines are kind of dotting and kind of coming together. And like I said, we're gonna end it in about 2 minutes here. But like,
Yeah.
you saw the backdrop, what I have now, besides where the magic doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Um, I was gonna say shit's about to get real. It's not that. It's me looking at it going, okay, now here we go. And it's not how we're going. It's like once you start laying the foundation on every little avenue, you could say, okay, now I have to put an umbrella over the top of it to have your personal brand. So just make that jump, guys. Make that jump in t-shirt, make that jump in podcasts. You're gonna make a mess.
Oh yeah.
It is what it is.
But there's a lot of free resources that you can use. There's a ton of free resources.
And for all you analyzers, and I have a drop of it somewhat. I'm not an analyzer engineer. I will tell you that 100% right now. Don't overanalyze. Just social media is a thing that you really cannot overanalyze, because the more you overanalyze about it, it's going to take a left turn and you're like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah. And it's way more simple than you think it is.
Yeah. So just go out,
Way
make
more
a mess, clean, keep it clean, keep it whatever, and grow from there. So no, I'm going to thank you for part 1 and magically part 2, because we keep talking, and I will edit in the other part here. So,
cool.
we're going to break it down to give or take to 20-minute, 30 minutes, whatever it is on the cuts. So
Yeah. Awesome.
I'm going to join your group or send me the link for that.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, totally.
And then we'll rock and roll on that. So I'm out. I got to go. My 35-year-old bladder's kicking in.
Awesome. You guys have a great day.
All right. See ya.
Thanks.